The Film Review, tomorrow at 5:45 on the BBC News Channel.
Today at 5, rebel Tories and opposition MPs assess their options after the government's decision to suspend Parliament for 5 weeks. One former minister says it means next week could be the last chance for MPs to challenge a no-deal Brexit.
Parliament does have a responsibility to act, and it may well be that next week is the only opportunity for us to do so.
Scottish Tory leader Ruth Davidson resigns, citing professional and personal reasons, and calls on Boris Johnson to get a new agreement with the EU.
I asked him outright, look, I need to know, are you actually trying to get a deal or not? And he categorically assured me that he was.
And the Scottish court will decide tomorrow whether to block the suspension of the Westminster Parliament. We'll have the very latest. The other main stories on the BBC News at 4. After 17-year-old Ellie Gould was stabbed to death in Wiltshire in May, another teenager, Thomas Griffiths, pleads guilty to her murder. A warning to eat less red meat, buy fewer clothes and cut down on transport if the UK is to meet its emissions targets. The Home Secretary meets her French counterpart in Paris in the fight to prevent illegal migrants crossing the Channel. And the discovery of an ape's skull 4 million years old in Ethiopia that could change our understanding of how humans evolved. It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. Our top story is that MPs opposed to a no-deal Brexit are considering their response to the government's decision to suspend Parliament for 5 weeks. The former Justice Secretary David Gauke said next week was likely to provide the only opportunity to ensure MPs had a say, while the Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said MPs will make an attempt on Tuesday to stop Boris Johnson from shutting down Parliament. Today saw the first resignation from the government over its plans. Lord Young, a whip in the House of Lords, says proroguing Parliament risked fundamentally undermining the institution. Ruth Davidson has quit too as Tory leader in Scotland, but while she says she's mainly stepping down for personal reasons, she urged Boris Johnson to strike a new deal with the European Union. This report from our political correspondent Jonathan Blake contains some flashing images.
The morning after a day of drama at Westminster, and the fallout continues from the Prime Minister's decision to suspend Parliament. It's business as usual as far as the government's concerned. Ministers say the break is merely an overdue chance to set out their plans.
Well, the Prime Minister is going to bring forward a new Queen speech. That new